Hello everyone. Today I have a 120p and I'm going to do a proper nature style aquarium and I have some help. This is Fabian Beck from Germany and he knows much more about what we're going to do today than I do.
My name is Fabian, I'm from Berlin and an aquascaper for 5 years now and really excited to escape at Green Aqua together with Tommy.
Now if you guys remember, a couple months ago we've done a review video where you could send in your aquariums and I've reviewed them. And in that video there was an aquarium where I said I want to do this for years and I never got there. It turns out it was Fabian's aquarium.
So when I sent in my tank to Tommy's review, it also catched his attention, and that's how we decided, or how we got the idea to get together to working on a tank like this here at Green Aqua.
Funnily enough, we've planned a shoot for a tank like that, and just a few days before the actual shoot, Fabian called us, knowing nothing about our plans, saying that he's going to visit us and maybe we can meet up and chat. And I'm like, please help me with the build if you're already here. So this is how we got today. Please explain what we're gonna do.
We're gonna build a very nice, very low-level hardscape nature aquarium. We leave a lot of space for your mind and creativity and give some space for the plants as well. So this time we're not gonna fill it up to the top with stones.
It's gonna be difficult for me. We have some new hardscape actually, sinker wood, which is gonna be great for this type of aquarium. Also have a bunch of plants sponsored by Tropica, so thank you for that. What you see behind us is just a pre-selection of wood. We just threw it in yesterday so customers don't take them.
Why is it called sinker wood?
Well, it should probably sink underwater.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't. I think it doesn't. I don't know the name, but it's quite heavy compared to like red moor. It might be easier and quicker to sink, but I don't think it would just stay underwater. At least we shouldn't risk it. So today I'm going to be more of like a help to Fabian. I don't want to take over the build because then the aquarium is going to be full of hardscape. I really want to learn today and I hope you guys learn as well.
I'm thinking of building some kind of concave shape. Yeah, we try to find some roots that are going from the upper right corner to the center a bit lower and then go up again. So this is already a bit too high.
We are already at the point where this is more hardscape.
We definitely take this one then. we could find additions, okay. But this is like thicker, so we can find smaller branches.
Yeah, I understand. So that's a better frame for it.
What a bromance moment, right?
Someone stole the electric one.
3 hours later.
This is actually a new type of hardscape, the sinker wood, and we ship it to most European countries, so you can actually buy it from us now.
Maybe it broke in the middle, or but the river is like flowing through it, and there we have a nice focal point here.
Oh yeah, I like it. So we need to cut the. Okay.
We need to cut this one.
I'm just weak.
I prepared it. Hattori Hansuso. Place it a bit more to the right side. Maintenance should be okay here. Maintenance should be okay there.
Shouldn't we like glue this main piece in place? I'm thinking we should glue it down here for the glass and then glue it to the rock as well.
I think it's going to be a really cool addition to the gallery because it's going to be very different from what is already here. It has a nice mixture of being like in flow but also natural, so not too straight. So it's in balance but not perfect.
Okay.
Balance doesn't have to mean perfection in any way. Balance just has to be like you look at it and you directly feel that it's just fitting together without everything being perfect. Like for example, golden ratio doesn't have to be the exact point of golden ratio, but it's nice to have some point that is somehow close to it. let's figure out if there's like maybe some small branches needed. What do you think about this? Is it too
like it because this disconnects to this in some way. We already like agreed that something is missing from here. For me, it screams for another like leg on the other side.
German sawing machine. You should get some like Japanese saw maybe.
Or get the electric one back. Okay, so now we have a few bags of lava stones.
We're gonna place a bag here because we want to make the sun pass.
So, big debate in the aquascaping community. You want to start with sand or soil?
I prefer to put some of the power sand in the background first.
Okay.
And then put the soil in, and then we can like cover the front of the soil with some sand.
One of the most important foundations of a well-balanced aquascape is clay-based active soil. So that's what we're gonna use the Amazonia version 2 today. Choose your weapon.
So I was sitting at my dining table with somebody from the aquarium industry, and he basically said that he rarely sees that there is an aquascaper in Europe using not that much hardscape on the one hand, and also letting the tank be a bit wild on the other hand, yet everything comes together and looks really balanced. And I think that was one of the most nicest compliments I ever got. So I would just use this to, for example, make at least a small barrier here. So we divide the soil from the sand a bit.
So you want to basically a complete line across the whole tank.
Yeah, but it shouldn't look like a line.
I know
That's
it
the
shouldn't
most
look
important.
like that, but physically it creates a complete line.
Yeah, because if you introduce livestock like Amano shrimp, for example, they quickly bring everything to the front. Yeah, I make a plan, I make a sketch. It's also, for me, it's good to have a plan and stick to it, and then you also don't overdo too much. Yeah, so I barely just create something out of the blue. I really like to plan ahead. Sometimes I have a picture from nature, sometimes there is some other aquascape that I'm looking into, and then think about how I could do this differently. So what's very important in my opinion is that you also like leave some space out, like not put gravel everywhere. So there is also some natural feeling to it. What we do now is we put some fine filter mesh in here, and this will be glued with some liquid super glue. Then we put sand on top, so the sand will not fall down and like disappear between the lava stones. All the substrate beneath stays like very well with oxygen.
Hardscape is done. There might be some tweaks after planting, but now it's time for planting. Again, thank you for Tropica for the huge amounts of plants.
So let's start the engines.
Very important. If you like this style and if you like Fabian's work, then check out his Instagram and YouTube channel, which we have links here and in the description. So what does aquascaping actually do for you? What part does it have in your life?
So what previously was sports, but due to injuries I can't do sports anymore, is now aquascaping is helping me with just getting washed away and forget stress.
So basically aquascaping is therapy for you.
Yeah, kind of. Minimalization can also be very relaxing. Simplicity is something that I also try to bring into my everyday life, and in some aquascapes it just really feels like less is more, basically. For example, my most emptiest tank is standing very close to my couch, so I can sit on it and just like get inspired by looking into it, and also have some space left that leaves space for inspiration and ideas.
So who was the quick?
I thoroughly cleaned it. You?
What is it to do thoroughly? It's like
But you have to take it apart. I already did.
Ah, you are one of those. Okay. You just take it like this and just grab in my pincet.
Ah, yeah, okay. You are one of these weirdos. I think it's very difficult from time to time to leave something out of a tank. That's something that's really hard to decide, because you always feel like you could use some more. But it's like leaving something out gives also some space for imagination, what could be there, so it also gives some kind of tension. Now I'm going to start with Selantium Tenellum Green. and mixing it up with Blixa japonica, because Blixa sometimes turns a bit reddish, kind of rosé tone. It's a nice blend in. It's not like popping really hard, but looks really good together.
Another very important foundation of a well-balanced scape is healthy plants and big amount of plants from the very beginning.
I really try to take into consideration how the plants in that area will look like later on, how everything grows together, and that's also something that is, in my opinion, very important, to give the plants some space to also develop something natural, to go a bit more into wabi-sabi, let it like create itself a bit. Some people invented the name Fabi-sabi because Fabian and Fabi, so I really like that. I think that space is very important for the soul and also the mind to relax, and that's why I give plants also the place to grow and to shine. Beside the plants, always some white space, some background to look at when you just want to relax your eyes, for example. That's my opinion. So I put the Hylantium tulenum to the side first. Gonna use some more Blixa japonica now, and put it just like in between so it's mixing well into each other.
How do you choose your plants? What's the criteria?
In a very natural looking tank, I think it's very important to choose plants that go from one color to another with very distinguished, I'd say, so very, very smoothly.
Oh, and one very, very important fact that we didn't mention yet today. You had quite a good result on IAPLC this year, haven't you?
That's true.
Rank?
11. But yeah, that was a huge achievement, definitely. So really thankful for this, and I can also only recommend everybody to group up with some like-minded people. Yeah, without this, it wouldn't have been achieved, I think. So what I also do is, from time to time, if I take down one tank and there is a plant in there that you rarely get, for example, and I find a nice spot in another tank.
Yeah, but for that, how many tanks you have?
I have, let's say, 2.
2, okay.
No, it's actually 6.
2 rooms of tanks.
We're gonna have Eleocharis articularis, the very thin plant that I would basically like to use around the focal point to also have something smaller in the back, but I would also add it somewhere in between here. I often see aquascapes where there's a lot of hardscape used, and I often find it more relaxing to look into a aquascape when there is not that much going on, when it's less crowded, when there is some space, and that's especially what I like in Japanese style aquascapes. And I shortly read a book about Japanese garden design. There is a quote expressing really well the kind of style that we're gonna try to achieve here. In a land where space is infinitely precious, the art of landscaping and garden design has been taken to its ultimate limits of expression. Whilst instantly recognizable by their unique and exquisite form, these gardens invariably resist a straightforward intellectual comprehension. The viewer instinctively senses that their creation has involved an aesthetic and philosophy that are completely separate from the Western tradition. We're gonna start introducing some epiphyte plants. In this case it's the Anubias minicoin, and then also add some moss at some specific spots just to get some more interest, and also it's a nice addition from the tape-shaped plant we mostly use, and then in the foreground there is some rounder leaves.
This is the plant that we probably won't see on the final images yet.
Yeah.
It takes months to actually start to properly grow.
So Tommy, I just thought about not covering too much of the very nice looking wood with moss, just so we really cover the stones that we use to support it for holding the structure, and then maybe just attach it on some other rocks, just very, very small patches, but leave the wood completely free. Lots of the gardens there, they are very well thought through, and that you can really see that there is a big difference from everything that is done in the Western world. And yeah, I was basically trying to somehow copy this style into my style, and I'm still learning yet.
As surprising as it is, this tank is done. It's like completely different from anything else in the gallery, and I'm really happy about it.
Right now there is a lot of space, that what we were talking about earlier. pair of apistogrammers and some Congo tetras would be amazing in this tank, I can imagine.
It's good of a flow with just such a low amount of hardscape.
Exactly.
Well, thank you very much for coming. Thank you for helping us out with building this. I think we're gonna learn a lot from this scape, and I hope you guys are gonna learn a lot as well. Thank you for joining as well, and see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye. I really enjoyed the inspiration I got here. It's always amazing to scape with friends, with other good aquascapers, and yeah, it was amazing to scape this 120p with Tommy, and I really liked how it turned out. Creating this beautiful aquarium, what else can you wish for?